What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about Super Skrull and Sinister 6, how the Sinister 6 are going to be able to counter Super Skrull. There are multiple tools on Sinister 6, on Superior 6 that will allow you to counter Super Skrull, and we're going to break down all that information. This is going to be useful not only for Cosmic Crucible but also to Alliance Wars. You might actually get 2 teams worth of Super Skrull counters in order for you to use in Alliance Wars. And in Cosmic Crucible, it's up to you to decide if you want to use a super team or if you want to divide this team in 2, not only to counter Super Skrull but also to counter other Spider-Verse characters as well. So in this video we're going to break down all that information. We are not going through all the kits of the characters. We are just going to focus on the main points that allow you to counter Super Skrull, so keep that in mind. Something that people have been asking already is, what about Dark Dimension 6? In a future video we'll talk about Dark Dimension 6 for these characters because it's a very in-depth topic, especially because now we have so many Sinister 6 characters that have viability in Dark Dimension 6. Okay, so once again, the focus of this video is going to be how to counter Super Skrull with Sinister 6. So, as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so, first off, in my opinion, you're going to be able to make 2 teams that will allow you to counter Super Skrull. One of them is going to have Green Goblin, and the other one is going to have not Green Goblin. This is going to be the Spider Slayer, this is going to be Kraven the Hunter, and this is going to be also the Lizard. And then you can use Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus on other team. Of course, this is subject to change because it all depends on which characters you like, which characters you get up, and which characters you have available and at a decent size in order to use them and to perform these combos. The way the Sinister 6 counter Super Skrull, it's not the way some envoys were asking for, which was a ridiculous opinion, which is, oh, let's stop the speed bar of Super Skrull. It's not necessary to stop his speed bar. There are other ways to counter him, and we have those tools on the kits of the new Sinister 6, aka Superior 6. Okay, so with that in mind, these counters are going to revolve around flipping positive effects into negative effects on the enemies and making sure that we can one-shot right away Super Skrull with assist mechanics and also additional damage boosts. So it's going to be, one of the counters is going to be a wombo combo. The other one is not as much, but is still going to work to counter him. So let's get started. The first character we're going to talk about is going to be Spider Slayer, and we have to start off with his passive. On spawn, if he's facing any kind of Spider-Verse enemy, he's going to gain ability energy, and this will allow him to use his ultimate turn 1. This is important against the Super Skrulls with Secret Defenders, which have Black Cat, and Black Cat is a Spider-Verse enemy, and that means that you're going to be able to get this ability energy. Spider Slayer is going to give additional damage and additional armor to Sinister 6 allies. This is going to include the old ones and the new ones alike. And on his ultimate, because you can use it turn 1, you're going to be able to do 350% piercing to one target and flip positive effects into negative effects. You are going to repeat this attack, so 750% piercing total, and if the enemy had the defense up on the first attack, you're going to be able to flip that into defense down, and that is going to result in more damage. So even that it ignores defense up, if you have defense down, because you flip it, the second attack will always do more damage. On top of that, the attack is unavoidable, and you are going to call 2 Sinister 6 allies with the highest damage to attack the primary target. So this is going to be important because you want to make sure that specific characters are attacking Super Skrull. Characters that benefit of negative effects on the enemies, and also characters that have additional damage multipliers on the basic. This is going to be Vulture. I think Vulture is going to be must-have together with Spider Slayer, just to make sure that you benefit as much as possible from this ultimate ability when you are facing Super Skrull with Secret Defenders. In terms of the other abilities, are not super important for this specific combo, so we're going to move on from that, and we're going to talk about Lizard. Before we talk about Lizard, we have to mention that Lizard is ugly AF. It seems like they really effed up the character model, and I really wish that they would use the model of Lizard from the TV show of the 90s, which is Lizard when he looks more like a crocodile rather than a iguana. But yeah, what can we ask for, right? I think maybe in the future we'll have one skin, but yeah, the way Lizard looks right now, it's kind of ugly. Okay, so how is Lizard going to help us countering Super Skrull? Very, very easy. First off, we have to talk about his passive. He's going to apply Deflects to the entire team. This is going to reduce the damage of Super Skrull, but it will also allow Super Skrull to go faster, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing because we want to get Super Skrull within the first turn and the second turn. So with these deflects, Super Skrull is going to go faster. If you are facing a Spider-Verse ally, which once again we are talking about the Secret Defenders with Super Skrull on room 4, for example, Lizard is going to get 40% speed bar. So Super Skrull will go first and Lizard will go second. Because of that, you're going to be able to use the special of Lizard, and with the special of Lizard, you are going to flip positive effects into negative effects. Flip one random positive effect into slow, flip one random positive effect into heal block, and flip all other positive effects into negative effects, not only on the primary target, but also to adjacent targets as well. So it's going to be important for you to have as much focus as possible on Lizard, on this specific counter, to make sure that you are flipping all those positive effects on Super Skrull, and then you're going to be able to use the ultimate of Spider Slayer in order to one-shot the Super Skrull, and making sure that is also not in stealth. If this character does not have trauma, negative effects, he's going to flip those negative effects into positive effects, he's going to heal himself. It doesn't matter much, but if he gets attacked by Super Skrull, it won't matter, because he's going to heal himself and flip negative effects into positive effects, so yeah. The ultimate is also not super important, but it will allow you to copy and clear positive effects on the enemies. So if you don't want to use the special of Lizard, you can use the ultimate. I would rather use this on the second turn when Super Skrull is dead already, because this is going to copy all positive effects and spread them to all Sinister 6 allies, and Lizard is going to gain taunt and immunity for 2 turns. That means that if Black Cat is going to attack you or something like that, you're going to be able to tank it no problem, or Robbie Reyes, or whichever other character we are talking about. Let's talk about Kraven now. Kraven is also nice to have for this combo to counter Super Skrull. Is not exactly necessary, but he helps. So on spawn is going to apply Safeguard as long as you have 2 or more Superior 6 allies. So once again, this assumes that you are using the Lizard and also the Spider Slayer. And then on enemy turn is going to gain charges to a maximum of 10. With each of these charges is going to get additional damage, which is going to allow him to attack with the Spider Slayer ultimate, Aldo's assist, and so on. He's going to flip slow into speed up on allies, and he's going to flip heal block into death proof on allies as well. When this character gains charged, if they do not currently have charged, flip stealth and disrupt to all enemies. This means that as soon as Super Skrull does his ultimate, because he's going to go faster than anyone else, Kraven is going to flip his buffs into disrupt. The stealth that Super Skrull gets, it doesn't matter. It's going to be flipped into disrupt, and it's game over for Super Skrull right away. And after that, if he still has positive effects somehow, you can remove them with Lizard, and if he still has some positive effects or whatever, you can one-shot the guy with the Spider Slayer ultimate. So as you can see, all these 3 characters have tools based on their speed, based on the mechanics of Super Skrull, that allows them to counter Super Skrull without having to mess up with the speed bar of Super Skrull. Beyond that, Kraven is also going to apply negative effects. He is also going to do some nice amount of damage with his basic, and all of this once again is going to allow you to one-shot Super Skrull, and it's going to be game over for them. But this was in the context of Super Skrull with Secret Defenders, which once again is something very common these days in Cosmic Crucible. Now we're going to talk about Green Goblin. So Green Goblin, it's a different story. Green Goblin counters Super Skrull in a different way, and you don't need other Superior 6 allies in order for Green Goblin to counter Super Skrull. This is going to be thanks to the passive of Green Goblin. On spawn is going to gain charges to a maximum of 5. It seems like people forgot, content creators even Evoice forgot about this detail. Green Goblin, he can gain charges from Dr. Octopus, and this is why I said at the beginning of the video that you want to use Dr. Octopus with Green Goblin rather than using him with the other Superior 6 allies. So in Cosmic Crucible on spawn he's going to get additional speed bar, which will allow him to catch up to Super Skrull. And while this character has charge, is going to lower the damage of all enemies, is going to lower the resistance of all enemies, and is going to stop the enemies from applying ability block to Green Goblin and also vulnerability. So this is going to be a huge advantage. This is going to stop Raider Super Skrull. This is going to stop the special of Super Skrull from applying ability block to you, and it's going to allow you to use all your abilities against the enemies. At the end of the enemy turn, if this character has charged, is going to attack the enemy that had that turn, but at the end of the turn, remember, at the end of the enemy turn, is going to attack that enemy and is going to flip, speed up, and 2 additional positive effects into negative effects, and then is going to lose 1 charge. Who gains positive effects early on? It's going to be the Super Skrull, yes. So as soon as Super Skrull does his special, you're going to be able to flip all his positive effects into negative effects, and then you can or stun him with Trauma. Maybe you can use Tangle Web with Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, or maybe some other kind of combo, but this is the way you want to roll against the Super Skrull as one additional option for you to counter Super Skrull. If you don't want to have 2 teams for Alliance Wars, if you just want to have 1, you can use Green Goblin with Spider Slayer as well. It doesn't really matter because Green Goblin does all of this without requiring other Superior 6 allies, while the other ones require it. Beyond that, Green Goblin is going to do tons and tons of damage and also tons and tons of turn rewind, depending on how many Sinister 6 allies you have. And that's going to also counter the amount of speed bar that Super Skrull has without being like super intrusive, right? It's not like Green Goblin has on his passive, oh, it stops every other character from gaining speed bar, which is a very good thing. So with the ultimate of Green Goblin is going to turn rewind the enemies per Sinister 6 ally. So if you have more summoners like Mysterio, like Dr. Octopus, you're going to be able to turn rewind the enemies up to 20%, and this repeats 2 times, so up to 60%. And with his special, you're also going to be able to turn rewind the enemies based on how many Sinister 6 allies you have, including minions. So in my opinion, once again, you want to use the Spider Slayer with Vulture, with Lizard, and also with Kraven the Hunter. And then you can leave Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Mysterio, maybe Rhino, and Shocker to be used on a secondary team. This is going to be great for Alliance Wars, but like I said, if you want to focus in just one super team, if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, that's fine as well. Just let your alliance know that you'll have the tools in order for you to counter Super Skrull. Okay guys, that's going to be the video. Have we made it clear how to counter Super Skrull? A quick recap. So, with the Lizard and with Kraven the Hunter, you're gonna flip buffs on Super Skrull after he does his special, including Stealth. And then you're gonna use the Spider Slayer in order to nuke him with the ultimate. And this is going to be against combos of Secret Defenders plus Super Skrull. If you are not facing Secret Defenders with Super Skrull, then you want to use Green Goblin with Dr. Octopus against Super Skrull, because on the passive alone of Green Goblin, he already removes the positive effects from Super Skrull, and he also makes sure that Super Skrull does not have a lot of resistance and that he also does less damage. So these are the two tools that you have now with the new Superior 6, also with the Sinister 6, in order for you to use at your disposal to use in Alliance Wars and Cosmic Crucible in order for you to stop those pesky Super Skrulls. So if you're not anywhere near completing Dark Dimension 6, don't worry about it, because help is on its way. This is also going to affect the arena meta, of course, but we'll talk about that in the future. It's just too early to think about that, but keep in mind that yes, Green Goblin is definitely going to be a top character when it comes to arena. That's it. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. If you found the video helpful, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.